So, hello again and welcome. Let's get started on our backs for today's class. It's going to be a little bit shorter and maybe even a little bit sweeter session, especially for head and neck tension, and also help relieving some of the discomfort associated with that in our heads. A lot of headache actually has their root at the seat of the neck, around the shoulder area. So overall, this is just going to be a feel-good class. Start by giving yourself a moment to notice how you're feeling in a comfortable resting position. This can be with your knees bent, feet on the floor, or even in a seated position, or classic Shavasana, resting on your back. Give yourself any of those adjustments you might need to get comfortable in your position. And once you find that position, bring your attention to your physical body. And with every exhale, allow your body to rest a little easier. Noticing if there's any holding, any tightness, or any other kind of tension that you can simply soften and release with the breath. With every exhalation, allow your body to rest a little bit heavier into whatever is supporting you. With every inhalation, just see if you can notice that support. Notice the way the earth is rising up to hold you. And with every exhalation, allowing your body to settle down into that support. Once you've noticed how you're feeling, briefly scanning over your body, bring your attention to your breathing. Always breathing in through the nose whenever possible. And if it feels easy and natural, breathing out through the nose. Slow and soft. And sometimes it can help. The body likes to make sounds as a way to relieve tension. So after a next inhale, see how that feels when you breathe out through the mouth. Sighing and relaxing. Once you've found your settled, relaxed position, bringing your attention back to the rise and fall of your breathing, we're going to engage in a 3-part breathing exercise today to develop a little bit more sensitivity, a little bit more awareness of all of the different space and aspects of your breath. So exhale, and exhale completely. You can even squeeze your navel in. And then we're going to breathe into the lowest part of the belly, up into the navel, pause. And then continue breathing in from the navel up to the middle of your chest, pausing. And then finish the last third of your breath from the chest line all the way up to the collarbones, pausing, before releasing the breath out the same way, down to the nipple line, pause. From the middle of the chest, down to the middle of the belly, pause. And then finish your exhale from the middle of the belly all the way down to the lowest part of your breathing room, pelvic floor. Get that last air out and continue like this. So we breathe in from the bottom third, pause. In more through the middle third, pause. And then finish your breath through the top third of your breathing room, pausing with fullness before releasing the breath the same way out. Top, pause, middle, pause. And then the bottom third of your breath, smooth, soft, and release. You're going to keep breathing like this for 3 or maybe even 4 more of these slow, pause, and very careful observations of your different breathing spaces inside the abdomen. And then as you exhale, just let the breath roll out the same way, with the same smoothness and a full release. So avoid any excess doing here. It won't help to try harder. And there's really no right way, no wrong way to divide your breath up into 3. Simply find what feels like the easiest, the naturalist way to breathe in 3 balanced parts. And then releasing the breath out in the same easy, balanced release. Let's do that one more time. The next time you breathe out, you can release this practice and return to your natural breathing and see if we can keep some of that awareness of the transition, the flow, and the overall space for your breath from the bottom through the middle and the top of your breathing room, but now without the pausing. So very gradual and seamless flow. And as you're ready, starting to move your body again. Waking up, maybe shaking things up, or just stretching. Anything that feels intuitive, just feels right. And then bending your knees and bringing your legs into your body. Give yourself a hug, a nice squeeze. And see if you can keep your tailbone, so the lowest part of your back, resting down to the ground and reaching long away from your head. We're just going to rock on the back and roll a little bit. A nice massage for the lower back, the mid back, even a little bit into the upper back. See if you can feel the different spaces, the different contacts and pressure points in your back. Be careful not, though, to roll on your neck. So you can also take this into an up and down motion for the spine. And then either come back to a resting position, roll to your side, or you can use that rolling action to come up to a seated position. Start one more observation here in seated. So sit in a way that you can lift your spine, lift your heart, and have your chin more or less parallel to the floor. And closing your eyes, taking a moment to just notice and feel. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. You can keep your eyes closed for this. And just start to rub your hands together, palming the hands so that the whole face of each hand rubs and presses the whole face of the other hand. So what you want is to get a feeling of warmth here, a lot of friction. Make sure you're getting that contact and that rubbing on all of the fingers and all of the surface, the inner surface of the hand. And once you have some warmth there, continuing to sit up tall, you're going to cup the hand and bring the bottom of the hand just below the eye so that you have this curved, cave-like space that is warm and dark to rest over your eyes. Lifting the crown of your head up as you relax your shoulders down, keeping your elbows soft, a gentle bend here to help the shoulders relax a little heavier into the back. And we're not doing anything here. In fact, it's one of the really wonderful benefits we get from yoga. There's a little bit less thinking and doing, and a good deal more just feeling and being. Yoga helps us remember we are not human doings, we're human beings. Just see how it feels in your eye space and in your head. The warmth here and the darkness helping the eyes, the eyeballs, even the eye socket and the optical nerve relax back into the head. And you might notice that you see something here, even in this darkness, this complete dark space. And that's okay. If something moves, if you see light, colors, or shapes changing, simply observe that without any judgment. Without telling yourself any story about, oh, that's good or bad. A neutral observer of what is. If you like, you could also use your fingertips here to massage your head around the hairline or even up into the crown of the head, around the temples with your thumbs. Just be careful not to push on your eyes. Okay, so as you're ready, you're going to slowly start to open the hands, releasing them back down to the legs. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes. Again, noticing how you feel. We'll start with some easy head rolls, head and neck rolls. I like to start really small here, especially when I've had stiffness or any kind of pain in the neck. Making a little roll at the top of your head, like it was your pole, like it was the axis of your body, and about the size of a coin. Now, if that feels wonderful, it feels really fluid and round, feel free to make the circle a little bigger. Try to keep it slow, keep it easy, and flowing with your breath. If you come a little bigger and you find that your circle has become a little bit sticky, maybe there's some corners in your circle, some cracking in the neck, And just stay at that space where it's not difficult. And notice how it feels, especially if you can slow it down in those tight spots, or maybe you just got some tired spots. And then again, notice if your breath can help you let go of some of that tension, just by bringing your awareness there. And then we'll pause, and then let the head and neck just gently roll in the opposite direction. We're still sitting up tall here. Shoulders nice and relaxed, resting heavy in the body, and letting this feeling guide the motion. You can take it bigger, and eventually we will go bigger, but that may or may not be the right pace or size for your circle, just depending on what you're feeling in your neck and the base of the skull. If things feel free and easy, you might take your circle so big that your chin comes towards the wall of your chest, rubbing above the collarbones and in the direction of the shoulder. And you can take your head back, but don't do too much. You don't want to pinch the back of your neck when you let the head roll back. Great. Finish that and come to a neutral position, sitting tall. Then we're going to warm up and stretch the shoulders a little bit. So we're going to inhale and reach the shoulders up, squeeze them towards your ears. And as you exhale, slowly pull them back and down. Inhale again, lift the shoulders towards the ears, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, let them roll back and down. And sometimes it's nice to do with a little more gravity and just let them fall. So try that again. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up to the near the ears, and exhale, let the shoulders drop. Try that one more time. Inhale, squeezing, lifting, and exhale, dropping. And then one more time in whichever way felt better for you. Wonderful. We're going to just briefly come to hands and knees. You can cross your ankles and roll over your legs with your wrists under your shoulders. And then inhale, arch the back. And exhale, get round. Inhale, let your sitting bones reach back and out as you look up. And as you exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, pull your tailbone down towards your knees. So as you inhale, your belly is soft. This is why it's called the cow pose. It's like a cow udder. And then as you exhale, your back gets really round. Pull your navel in. Imagine an angry cat. We'll do a couple more in connection with your breathing. And if it helps you develop more of that connection to what you're feeling, you might want to close your eyes again anytime we're in a stable pose. Helps turn your gaze more inwards. And remember your breath. At the end of your next exhale, come to a neutral position. And we're going to walk the knees back a little bit so they're no longer under the hips. Tuck your toes into the mat. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, push back to modified downward dog. So your feet are active here. Your hands are big. Reach through all 10 fingertips from the rest of your hand. Inhale, come forward to plank. Long spine, pulling the belly in. Exhale, back to downward modified dog. Do that 2 or 3 more times. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. And then coming back to modified downward dog, tucking your toes in, and activate the core, so pulling the belly in, navel up into the body, and inhale, lift your hips, and exhale, classic Ardha Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. Notice your shoulders here. You want to be resting in a position where your shoulders, again, feel good. They are a little bit away from your ears, and as much as you can, connected to that upper back support. You can bend your knees here one at a time, walking your dog. Not too worried about the legs here, so you might even bend your knees a little bit more, and then see if you can lift your hips up a little bit more. And get a really good feeling in the lower back. It's those shoulders that are going to help your upper back feel good. So let's bend the knees even more and look forward. And then walk or hop or just step forward for a forward bend. Bend your knees enough that you can get your hands on the floor, nice and easy. And your knees will want to follow the center line of your foot. Notice the knees right there behind toe number 2. And inhale, come halfway up. Heart forward, tail back. Exhale, fold forward, forward bend. Feel free to grab your elbows here with your opposite hand. And let your head and neck be heavy and relax. You can wiggle or let your upper body sway here with the breath, kind of like the willow tree. Yes and no with the head, right and left. And then release the hands. And go ahead and grab them the opposite way. So now the opposite arm should be in front. And then open your mouth as wide as you can and start to make some circles with your lower jaw. So your chin is kind of leading the circle here. Pausing and circles in the other direction. And your legs are quite active here, but keep those knees easy. Spread your toes, release your hands back down to the ground. And with strong legs, we're going to support our body as we unroll and lift the spine. So on an inhale, slowly start to make your way up. Go as slow as you can. You want your head and neck to stay heavy here so that your head, your neck, your shoulders are the last part of your body to stand up. And then just stand tall here. And notice again how you feel. Arms by your side. The bicep, the inside of the arm facing forward so that your shoulders can relax back a little bit more. And notice your breath. As you're standing here in mountain pose, and this is nice to do sometimes in front of a window or a mirror where you can see your reflection. We really want to, again, bring our attention to our breathing, because our breathing capacity is influenced by our posture, but also our breath supports all of our movement, all of our healthy structure. So the space for the breath, like we were exploring in our lying position, is optimized when we can take a full, voluminous breath, just like you were pouring something into a container and filling it up with the liquid light of breath. And then as you exhale, letting that flow release. We're going to see if we can do that. Bring that awareness again to the space of your breath as it expands, opens, and fills with breath. And then as you exhale, just allowing the energy of your breath to soften. See if we can dissolve any tension with it. can close your eyes again if you like. And imagine your breath is like a light that is getting brighter as you fill from the bottom through the middle, even into the topmost part of your breathing room. And as you exhale, that light softens as you release tension, release the breath. Just going to take 2 more breaths like that, really exploring your full yogi breath. Notice especially the side body and even the back body of your breathing room. We have a tendency to focus only on this front opening and expansion of the belly. Let's see if you can notice how you feel now in the sides of your body as they lengthen on the inhale and the back body expanding. And as you exhale, a softening, a release. We're going to link to some easy movement now with that same awareness, same feeling of breath, letting the arms now rise up on the breath. And then as you exhale, let the arms ride down on the wings of the breath. Inhaling, arms are riding the breath, lifted by the breath. And as you exhale, the arms sort of carried by this gentle cloud, dissolving and releasing. So one more time. Great. Again, standing tall, noticing how you feel. And then bring your legs together as if you have one leg. Keep the knees easy, bending them a little bit and spreading your toes. This will help you activate your base. Your legs are still very strong here, but your feet are relaxed. Knees are easy. And then on an inhale, we're going to bring the arms overhead, reach the crown of the head up. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend to the right. Now we're only bending to the right here, a side bend. So notice if your left shoulder has moved forward and you're a little bit in a forward bend. Come out of it. You could also come back to the center and then exhale back to the side. And you can continue with that dynamic movement, inhaling as you extend through your center and always come back out. And as you exhale, see if you can just soften into that side bend. Take one more breath here. Your hips gently bending in the opposite direction to really reach the center of you, the crown of your head up. Even as your feet reach down, inhale, come back up. Relax your shoulders and exhale, side bend to the left side. And your opposite foot here, the heel, will help you ground. So really reach that down as you lift the crown of your head up, get long, and exhale, soften into your side bend. And again, bring your attention back to the breathing. So you really want to notice there's an obvious extension in that upper side body from underarm down to your waist. But let's see if we can also lengthen and open a little bit that side body that we're compressing. As we bend to the side, let's see if we can fill up that space with the breath. Feel free to stay here in a more static side bend, or you could also come out and in. One more time, lengthening both side bodies on your inhale. And one more time, exhaling for release. Inhale, activate your center, belly in as you come up. And exhale, back down. Great, notice how that feels. And we're just gonna open the legs a bit, at least as wide as your hips, maybe a little more, and take some shoulder circles. In both directions. You can do this with both arms at once, or work one arm at a time. especially if you've noticed a big difference in one side. We're not trying to force one side to be more like the other, but sometimes slowing down, taking it a little easier and doing even a little bit less will help you develop more receptivity, more awareness to what you're feeling. And by simply becoming more aware of your body, connecting that awareness to your body's natural rhythms and its own desire to heal, with that awareness of feeling and the connection to the breath, your body will naturally restore itself. Great, bring your arms up, spread out wide. You might even take your legs wider, as wide as your hands come out, or at least to the wrist. And just some easy circles with the arms. Legs are active, core is engaged, lifting your heart. And let these circles be nice and free. If there's that clicking, cracking, or any kind of resistance, do not force it. Just observe and keep breathing. And if it feels round and easy, you can let those circles get bigger. You might even go so big that your arms cross in front of you, and then you might want to alternate one hand and the next. Let's try the second direction, starting small, and help bring a little bit more feeling through all of the small connections, lots of small muscles that support the shoulder joint. And help keep your focus on your breath. Notice if one side is feeling warmer or already more tired than the other. And if it feels right, feel free to get bigger, as big as you like. Perhaps even alternating which arm crosses first. Lovely. Okay, hopefully you're feeling warm there in the shoulders, maybe even a little bit more tired. That's good, so that we can now work to open them a little bit more. So we're going to bring the hands behind the back. Rest your hands on your lower back. So this is below the mid-back. This is right above your tail on the sacrum. And bend your elbows. Relax your shoulders down. Lift your chest. And breathe deep. So we're going to begin to engage the arms away from the body, but we don't want the body to collapse or lose its structure. So keep your legs active, feet reaching down, your hips right above your knees. On an inhale, begin to lift your hands away from your seat while keeping your shoulders reaching down into the back. Chin parallel to the ground, and your elbows, again, stay easy. Gentle bend in the elbows. You can even begin to pull the arms away from each other with your hands clasped. You're not going to move. And now we're feeling a lot more of that isometric tension. And we're actually opening the space for the breath both in the front body, but also in the back body by keeping our elbows soft. So let's try to bring our awareness back to the fullness and the full space for your breathing. And again, using your exhales to soften and release. And on your next inhale, let go of the arms and stand tall. Notice how you feel. We're going to take that same pose in a forward bend. You might want to bring your feet even wider than your hips for a wide-legged forward bend. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend from the hips. Bring your arms behind your back, and if you can remember, cross your hands the opposite way. So now the opposite thumb is on top. Elbows are soft here, shoulders in the back. And as you inhale, start to reach your hands away from the back and towards the back of your head. Now only go as far as you can maintain your deep, easy breathing here. Activating your legs a bit more. It's like your knees are reaching up towards your hips while your feet are reaching down into the ground. Inhale, release, and exhale, forward bend. You come up like this as you inhale, hands to your hips, and notice your elbows. They're usually falling out. Let's bring them back so they're pointing up. Lowering your hips and inhale, rise up. Exhale, settle down, Tadasana, your mountain pose. Noticing again how you feel. Especially noticing if there's any changes. Good stuff. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend from your hips, forward bend. Hands in front of your feet. And reach back into downward facing dog. Also take modified downward dog. We'll do a little bit of weight bearing here as we wrap things up. It's a really great way to restore confidence, restore a good feeling in the shoulders. A lot of time when we've got pain in the neck and the head area, it's rooted in the shoulders. A lot of slouching, a lot of sitting in the rest of our day. Keep those elbows easy. And again, let's see if we can rotate the elbows so they're facing in the direction of your knees a little more. Head is heavy. The neck is soft, your knees are easy, and your breath is deep. Take 3 more smooth, unrushed breaths. At the end of your next exhale, as slow as you can, at least as slow as your breath. Take your knees down, slowly, touching down, and come to hands and knees. Walk your knees back so that they are no longer below the hips, but you're in a modified plank here, shoulders over the wrists. Now feel the natural extension of your spine, connect into that core support, and then feel your shoulders resting in your back. Now I'm feeling a little bit, they're hunching here, so I'm trying to lengthen the neck while relaxing the shoulders into the back. And then as I exhale, bending the elbows close to the body, reaching through the fingertips and the whole hand, lower down, release. And just rest here in prone position on your mat. Elbows by your side so that the elbow is right above the wrist. It's like a 90-degree bend in your elbow. Your tops of the feet, so the nail side of the feet reaching down into the ground. On an inhale, reach your legs down into the ground until your knees come up. And bring your upper body forward and up. Let's see if you can, again, feel your shoulders, connect them into the support of your upper back. And remember your breathing. So in Cobra Pose, we want to keep the heads of the arm bones in the shoulder area, in the shoulder girdle, shoulders resting down. So the neck again is nice and long on all sides. We're only coming up as high as we can do so from our core support. So we don't even need the hands on the ground. We do need a lot of breath. Keep your tail active, so that cobra tail reaching down into the ground. On an inhale, come up to your maximum. And then exhale, soften and release. And come back to hands and knees. Knees can be together or apart. You might want to sit up on something so you can come back and sit on your heels. And we're going to bring the hands behind the head, where the head meets the neck. Bend the elbows, soften the shoulders into the back, same as we've been doing. And again, bring your chin parallel to the ground. In a moment, we're going to start to pull the hands against the head, but the head will push back against the hands. First, you want to find your stable, easy pose. Lengthen the whole spine, activating the core a little bit. And then on an inhale, we'll begin that isometric tension again. So the hands now pulling against the back of the head pushing back against the hands. So there's no movement here, but a lot of energy, a lot of feeling. You can start to lift your heart a little bit more. Even bringing your chin slightly up as you look up, but keep those shoulders relaxing down into the back. Great. On an inhale, release. And then come back down to prone position, resting on your belly. We're going to do that same pose here. Keep the body extended like cobra. So hands at the back of the head. You can interlace the opposite way. We're going to need that cobra tail, both legs reaching down into the ground. As you inhale, legs down with your upper body forward and up. And we're not pulling on the head here. So in this one, we're just going to let gravity do the work. We keep our shoulders relaxed, elbows soft, and our full awareness on deep, easy breath. Coming up possibly a little bit more on an inhale. Exhale, release. Good stuff. Okay. We're going to come back down to our backs where we started. Feet on the floor, knees above your heels. So you can use your arms here to measure that your foot is just barely, you can touch it with your middle finger. That's right under the knee. And then bend your elbows with your hands facing in, facing each other. And the back of the head resting on the floor. And especially if your neck is giving you any pain today, I recommend you take this variation of bridge pose. You won't move very much, but on an inhale, push the back of your arms, the elbows, the back of the shoulders into the ground, even the back of your head. Notice that engagement, and then exhale, release. Notice how you feel. So we're doing that with this long side body and a lot of space for breath. And this might be as far as you come for bridge pose today. Or, if you like, take a classic bridge, Setu Bandhasana. Inhale, reach your base down as you lift up. So everything that's reaching down is helping you lift up a little bit, lifting your heart towards your chin. Reach your knees away from your forehead. And even imagine like you're squeezing something between your knees. A nice big soccer ball. We're going to let it fall. And you could also bring your arms out, keeping your shoulders resting down into the ground. Do not move the head. You don't want to roll. But we can take those chin circles again. Usually releases a lot of tension through the head and neck. So open the mouth. And just a couple circles in either direction. Remember that space between your knees. Try to keep it stable. And then inhale, come onto the toes and the balls of the feet. As you exhale, we're going to unroll vertebra by vertebra through the top, and the middle, and finally the lowest part of your back. Letting the lower back curve a little bit. And feel again the length and the curves of your spine. And if you like, you could just stay here, resting in this version of Shavasana, your final resting pose. You might want to give your neck area a little massage, so you could reach, especially behind your ears, and pull some of that tension. If there's any remaining tension, pulling it down through the sides of the neck and even into the chest, moving from smaller to bigger, helping the body disperse tension, and settle in to an easy feel. You might also want to rest one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. It's a great way to reconnect, connecting to those natural rhythms that sustain you. And if you like, and especially if your back is feeling good, you might want to take the classic Shavasana, your feet at least hip distance apart, the toes falling outwards, the legs are heavy, and your arms by your sides with the hands facing up so that the shoulders can rest back into the ground, back of the head right in the center. And on an exhale, you might roll your head to one side, and then inhale back up. Exhale, second side. And inhale, back to center. Again, take the time and make any of those small movements and adjustments that you need to find your final comfortable resting pose. With the back of the head on the ground, the chin gently tucked towards the chest so that your forehead is at least as high as your chin, maybe just a little bit higher. Closing your eyes, removing your glasses if you're wearing them, and letting your whole body settle down as you settle in. Noticing your whole body resting on the floor. With each exhalation, allowing your whole body to rest a little heavier. Noticing your lower body, your legs, your knees, your feet. With each exhale, relaxing the lower body a little more. Noticing your mid-body, your hips, pelvis, your abdomen. Exhale, softening the mid-body a little more. Noticing your upper body, chest, shoulders, your arms, the neck and head. Exhaling, softening everywhere a little more. Notice all of the muscles of your face. And exhale, soften your forehead, your eyes, around your mouth. Soften a little more. Noticing your whole left side of the body. Notice anything you feel there. And exhaling, softening the left body a little more. Notice the whole right side of your body, everywhere at once. Soften all the right body, everywhere. Notice your back body resting on the floor. Soften your back body A little more. Notice your front body rising with the breath. Exhale, let the soft front body soften down a little more. Noticing the whole outer body everywhere. Exhale, soften everywhere. And see if you can notice your inner body, organs, tissues, circulation. And as you exhale, allow the inner body to soften and relax. As you settle and rest, allow your full attention to rest in the rise and fall of your natural breath. And slowly, when you're ready, begin to deepen your breathing. With this bigger, deeper breath, slowly waking up your physical body with any small movements that just feel right, feel nice. But these small movements spontaneously get bigger. Perhaps even bringing your legs together and stretching the whole body from your center. And then exhale, bending the knees and giving yourself one more big hug and all your love. Roll to your side, resting for a moment in the fetus position. Use your hands and help yourself up into one last comfortable seat. Bringing your hands overhead, back to the center of your heart. Nice to finish any practice, and especially a feel-good practice, with gratitude. Gratitude to our bodies, gratitude to our breath, giver of life, gratitude to our awareness for letting us experience it all. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.